A warm welcome to all of you present here. I am Dr. Debasmita Mishra, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, VSS UT Bulla. I am highly elated that Mahavilaya Teacher Training Institute has given me this opportunity to present something about National Education Policy and Viksit Bharat 2047, which will be my topic. Now, before going further, I will mainly focus on the challenges and strategic roadmap on the role of higher education and higher educational institutions in achieving Viksit Bharat 2047 through NEP 2020. So today I'd like to share my thoughts on this issue as it is a crucial thing to get into NEP 2020 for Viksit Bharat 2047. So in that matter, we can develop a self-reliant India in 2047. So before 2047, if we think and try to achieve it. But for achieving that, we have various challenges. So what are the basic challenges in implementing NEP 2020? So first challenge is infrastructure modernization. Now, many higher educational institutions basically require significant improvement in their physical and digital infrastructure aspect. So we don't have smart classrooms everywhere, we don't have modern laboratories, we don't have high speed internet connectivity. So that is a key aspect. And also we don't have digital libraries. We also lack research facilities and innovation centers for the researchers and faculty members. So these are very essential for delivering good quality education uh, related to NEP 2020 objective. So second thing is faculty readiness. So faculty members are basically the backbone of any institute, but every faculty member is not ready for the NEP 2020. So the transition from the traditional approach to the lecture to the smart boards and digital teaching methods, that is a very fast transition. So teachers need basically digital pedagogy, and also they should be informed about outcome based education, what we call as the course outcomes, and that should be dealt with properly. Then teachers should be able to correlate different aspects with AI. So that is also very important. Then another thing is we should also focus on online assessment methods, which will make our job easier. Then also we should develop the curriculum in such a way that it should be skill based, which would help the students to perform very well in the industries. The skills and the education should be such that it will help in the industry, and a student should not be like मैडम आपने तो पढ़ाया था पर इंडस्ट्री में कुछ और हमको करा रहे हैं. So that happens often. So we should always try to give the skills which are being implemented in the industry. So that is also a very essential thing. Then we have another constraint or another challenge, which is the technology integration. Now many of our teachers also don't know much about technology, and the curriculum is also very theoretical. So we have to change the curriculum, and we have to make the curriculum in such a way that it should be application oriented, and it should correlate with the technology which is changing rapidly. Like we have the mobile phones and electronic gadgets changing every day. So the technology is so fast and rapid that we are not able to give even 1/10 of that knowledge to our students. But that is very important because the future is about technology. So we should have different uh, technology enabled learning methods, and institutions should adopt those methods like AI powered educational tools, visual virtual laboratories, and digital engaging methods. So which will also enhance the imagination and creativity of the students. Then another challenge is financial and resource constraint, which is your funding. So that is a very big constraint in India, especially. So funding is essential for various things like our laboratory improvement, research, innovation, then startup incubation centers, then for collaborations, international and national collaborations, and for transformation digitally. So for all these things, we require the funding. So we should try to get the funds from public as well as private sectors, and as well as uh, various sectors to enhance our resources of funding. So I would like to request all the faculty members and researchers to apply various kinds of fundings. Like nowadays, some software industries are also into funding. So I would request everyone to try and get the fundings and make it AI enabled such that we will have a multidisciplinary approach. Then the last but not least challenge is policy alignment. So this is a very important aspect. So key governance reforms basically includes curriculum revision. So we have to change the syllabus in such a way that it would have various aspects, as well as it should be flexible. Then there should be academic bank credit system in which students can access their mark sheets, their certificates, etc. from anywhere in the world, and they can download that, and it will be in the it will be available anywhere in the world. So that is an important aspect. So I would recommend some strategic recommendations for higher education institutions to implement the NEP successfully, which is we should have an academic excellence. So the academic excellence and research excellence, these two aspects are very important for implementation of NEP. So our basic objectives of NEP reforms are having a multidisciplinary approach, enhancing research and innovation, and building skilled graduates for Viksit Bharat 2047. So for that, the quality of higher education is also very important. So how do we achieve the quality? By academic excellence as well as research excellence. So how do we do that? So we should have multidisciplinary education by encouraging students to take various electives, open electives as well as professional electives across different disciplines. So we should have a flexible system of syllabus, and we should have various elective choices. We should have project based learning methods, and we should have experimental education system in should which should also include extracurricular programs like music, like athletics, like dance, etc., which would also cater to the overall development of a student. Only having a area of program which caters to improvement in a particular area is not important. The overall development of the student is very important, and he should also focus on different aspects which he is keen to learn. So a student not only is interested in engineering, he is also interested in music or dance. So we should encourage students to do that also, because I have seen many students who are very uh, talented, but we always keep telling them that please you concentrate on studies. all these are uh, all these are not good things to do, and this is wasting your time. It is actually not wasting their time, it is making them more creative. So uh, that should be uh, our thing, to make the students realize their confidence level, realize their talent, and we should make them pursue that, such that he builds his confidence. So it improves self confidence also, it improves uh, the students participation and teamwork also. So all these aspects we uh, should take into account. Then we should take into account the student development, as I was discussing now. So the primary goal of NEP 2020 is to develop competent, employable and socially responsible students who has good values also. So students should be encouraged to participate in self certification programs, innovation competitions, entrepreneurship development programs, startup incubation, community engagement things. So and some things which are socially innovative, like sometimes what happens, we don't have good kind of water coming from the in the region. So some of the water has fluoride. So students can come up with ideas, and students have come up with ideas in which the fluorides can be eliminated. So through different systems, different technology methods, etc. So we can have multidisciplinary internships also, uh, with industries, with other institutes, etc., in which students should be encouraged. So we can have industry collaboration as well, in which we can have joint research projects, consultancy assignments, internship programs, guest lectures, and collaborative innovation centers also. If the students are very good, we can build collaborative innovation centers. So uh, i'll I'll get to a kind of system in which I will tell that how we can achieve the aim which we have, that is Viksit Bharat 2047. So the implementation roadmap is by 2030, from 2026 to 2030 or 2025 to 2030, we should develop curriculum, and we should have curriculum reforms. So the phase 1 is academic transformation. So during this phase, institutions should focus on curriculum revision, implementation of academic bank credits, and multidisciplinary education system, along with the digital infrastructure and faculty training programs. Now, the phase 2 includes research and collaboration. There is expansion of the research, in which the strengthening of research culture through various sponsored projects, international collaborations, funding agencies, interdisciplinary research centers, and enhanced postgraduate and PhD programs. Uh, so through that we can enhance the research and collaboration systems. So the third phase should be AI and innovation. So up to 2040 we can focus on the development of technology along with AI. So innovation ecosystem should be encouraged, and universities should establish centers of excellence, AI enabled educational systems, startup incubation centers, which we have developed in many universities until now. And we can also develop innovation hubs. We can conduct hackathons, through which student will learn a lot. And we can also develop entrepreneurship ecosystems which will have a competency in the students to market various things and to be self sufficient, and also make um, generate employment opportunities for others as well. So that is about innovation ecosystem. Then finally we should have a kind of global excellence. So that is also very important finally after all these, to achieve Viksit Bharat 2047. Now by 2047 India would have achieved all the three, that is curriculum reforms, research and collaboration, AI and innovation. So Indian universities should aspire to become globally recognized institutions known for research excellence, innovation, sustainability, technology leadership, and social impact. So this roadmap basically rests upon four strategic pillars. So that is academic transformation, research and innovation, industry collaboration, and sustainable development. Now the sustainable development is also very important because now we can see how the weather is changing, and now we can see how plastic is ruining the environment. So we should go for sustainable methods to have a approach in which we are with nature, not against it. So that is also a very important aspect. So now the National Education Policy 2020 represents a shift in higher education system. So but what is the strength of the National Education Policy 2020? Because it is flexible in approach, it has multidisciplinary approach, it has outcome based education, it aims at digital transformation and research and innovation, skill development, industry collaboration, entrepreneurship, promotion, and global competency. So at the same time, the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 requires empowered teachers, skilled graduates, high quality research, sustainable technologies, innovation driven institutions, ethical leadership, along with social responsibility. So in the conclusion, I would like to tell that education has always been the foundation of national development. The implementation of NEP 2020 offers India a historic opportunity to build an education system that is inclusive, that is innovative, globally competitive, and socially relevant. So institutions such as my institution, which is Veer Surendra Sai University of Technology, Bulla, Orissa, have the responsibility to lead the transformation by nurturing future engineers, scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs, and responsible citizens. So as educators, our role extends beyond imparting knowledge. We shape the future of society. Through collaborations, continuous innovation, and unwavering commitment, we can ensure that our universities become engines of national progress. Let us work together to transform our classrooms into centers of innovation, laboratories into hubs of discovery, and our students into leaders who will build a prosperous, sustainable, and developed India. I conclude with the inspiring words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji. Dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in action. So let us go for action more. So let us dream together, act together, and contribute wholeheartedly towards realizing the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you very much for kind listening. Have a good day.